So this is our home buying and budget comparison dashboard. It's currently on revision 5.0. So this dashboard is designed, if you're looking to buy your first house or looking to move and make another purchase, or you're changing, you want to change properties. This gives you a nice comparison dashboard to, from one property to the next. You look at your total budget impact, total cost per month, and total annual cost. So I'm going to do a quick, overview kind of tutorial to kind of go through the whole product. Before I really start and do that, though, I'll cover the password. So we do provide a password with our dashboards. This does work. I will note that it does not unlock the About tab and Password tab. Those tabs are our proprietary tabs, and we don't provide access to those. However, it will unlock everything else in the dashboard. If you have any questions about how to use it, we include a video link, so you can click on the link. It'll take you to a YouTube. There's a quick 2-minute video in here, and it'll walk you through using it. So let me get out of that. Close that back down. So I will note, though, if you do, if you want to unlock the tab, that's fine. If you want to change colors or formats. However, you don't have to unlock the tabs in order to use the file. Everything in the white and beige boxes, none of it's locked. It's not protected. It allows you to interact with the file. If it's blue or gray or any other color, it's a formula or it's protected for a reason. So we'll start with the actual dashboard itself. There's not a lot to do here. I will cover a few things, but overall, this is meant to be a visual representation of what you put into these other tabs. You can set a currency. So I've got USD, Euro, Pound, and Canadian dollar, depending on where you're from. You can also add your current monthly take-home pay. So this is important in order to do the calculation of when you're comparing properties, the percent take-home comparison by address. So that percent take-home is going to be based on the value you put in here and the cost per month of the property. You'll notice the table to the left. You can add up to 10 properties to this dashboard. One is noted as current home. The rest are new homes, and I'll walk you through what that looks like. In general, the setup is identical, whether it's current home or new home. They're just tagged to, kind of stand out a little different. So you're looking at, hey, it's just a quick, easy visual to say, hey, this is the current property, the house I'm living in, and these are the ones I'm looking at moving into. So for current home, so one of these tabs, again, these are all identical. So as far as setup, but we'll walk through what this looks like on usage. So the table up to the top left is going to be a summary of the information you put in the sheet. So we'll go through that first. So financing, original amount borrowed, what are you spending on the property, what's your APR, and this should not include down payment. This is what you're actually borrowing. And then loan term months, is it 15, 20, or 30 year? And this is in months. And then it'll calculate your monthly payment excluding escrow. So this is not your mortgage. You'll notice your mortgage up here populates the $1,435. Your monthly payment's the $1,079. So mortgage is going to include some aspect of insurance and property taxes. Now insurance, we've got PMI, so private mortgage insurance, homeowners insurance, flood insurance if you have to have it, and then it gives you a total monthly insurance cost. Property taxes, what's your annual property tax? If you don't know what this is off the top of your head, you can generally look up the tax rate for any given city, state, etc., and calculate what that's going to be based on the property and the property value and the area's tax rate. Now you've got remaining loan balance. So if you are going to take out a loan, what's the loan balance going to be? Generally that may be, so this is current home. So this value may be much lower than this. So you may have equity or it may not. On the new home, it may be identical. But then what's the resale value? Are you coming in? Are you going to be, are you going to have negative equity from day one? Or are you going to have positive equity from day one? And this down here doesn't really play into any of the math, and it doesn't play into the dashboard, but it does provide a quick visual to say, what's my current state versus, if I'm moving, what's that going to look like after I move? Am I losing money or am I putting myself in a better position? So back to this tab. So current home address, so Liberty Street, you'll notice that populates in the top. So that makes it a quick, easy visual to know which tab you're playing with. And I do it by, it says current home address. You can put anything in here as long as you know what the property is. But the home address makes it real simple. So if you're looking at the chart, you got the bars are representative of the home address. So when you're comparing properties, the cost, it stands out pretty simple. But again, use whatever description you want to use. So as long as you know what it is, it doesn't matter. HOA fee. So if you're moving in a neighborhood, you're likely going to have an HOA cost. It's usually an annual fee. You plug that in, it'll spit out a monthly cost. Essential utilities, so electric, natural gas, water or sewer. You're paying for trash or recycling. And then maintenance and other fees. So annual landscaping. Do you have AC and maintenance? Is there any other, costs that you're paying for, or it's gonna be on your list for your property, and you can plug that in. And the result of that is you get a total monthly mortgage payment. This doesn't populate on the dashboard. This is what your mortgage is probably going to be for the property. Your home cost per year. So this is all the things added up, and it's your cost for everything for the entire year to include your maintenance items. And then you've got home cost per month. So this is a breakdown. So you'll notice that my mortgage, while $1,388, my cost for the house to have the property is going to be a good bit more than that. And then here's the key too, is percent monthly take home. So I'm not just looking at mortgage, what's my total cost and what percentage of my take home. That may or may not be more than you want to spend. And one additional item too, so the maintenance and other fees, so other annual costs. If you want to take, like, hey, I know I'm going to have to replace a roof within the next 5 years, then you can plug that cost in here, divided by a 5-year cost, and kind of at least count for that when you're comparing properties and comparing where you're moving into. So then you've got new home too. Again, all these are the same. So how you'll add tabs, you'll notice that this, you can have up to, again, 10 total property tabs. It comes with 3. So how you add one is, so I'll hit move or copy. I'll go down to, I'm going to create a copy, move to end, hit OK. And then I'm going to change this to the next sequential number. So that'll be new home 3. And now I'll go up here and we'll make up a new name. So we'll say 2000 Spider Drive, just making something up. Now if I go back to the actual dashboard itself, you'll see new home 3, 2000 Spider Drive, and it pulls into the charts. So it's really, really easy to add new tabs. Very, very simple. And then you'll just want to go in and update these values to reflect the actual property itself. Each of my products comes with a PDF guide, and it may have some additional things that I didn't mention in here that it'll highlight and cover. But if you had any questions, feel free to reach out, shoot us a message, and thanks for watching.